Alright, so finally everything that I use in Minecraft has been fully updated, including my texture packs and mods, and so I can get to some more videos. And luckily, Notch in the recent version has fixed a bug that I've been waiting to be fixed, so that adds another piston video to the queue. And today instead, however, we're going to be looking at the new trapdoors. It was known as hatches whenever he was talking about it in his Twitter, but now they're trapdoors. At any rate, everything here can actually be replaced with pistons, and I would suggest, however, that in these cases you use the trapdoor instead as a much cheaper alternative since they only cost wood. Oddly enough, the same cost for doors with half the size. But at any rate, they are cheaper, and so you don't need redstone or iron, which is nice. And I'll start with the simple ones, such as ones that only require one, such as this, and move up to slightly more, slightly advanced-ish things. So first we have just a door. It's sort of the opposite of moats in that it must be down or it must be up in order to walk through, because you're not tall enough to walk through while it's down. So you can't go in unless you flip it up, and then you can walk in. Pretty simple concept, and you can take it up one and use it as a gate for counters for role-playing purposes on servers, because luckily until they get implemented, pistons that is, we will have these for their uses. And so a couple of the pistons uses can be changed with trapdoors for now. And it's not really necessary, of course, but again, it's for role-playing purposes, and maybe if we get some protection similar to the door protections that we have now, maybe we can make these private. And I would definitely suggest that to modders or, bucket plugin developers. And then over here, we have a single single trapdoor being used in the trash compactors sort of facility, and you can just open it up normally by clicking it, or you can put a button right above it and that'll activate it, and you just use your preferred destruction method down below. I have a cactus, and then you can just throw items in, either manually click it or throw your item in and press a button, and then it just automatically closes and remains safe so that you don't have an open cactus in the middle of your place, or any server settings. It would be bad to have a open death trap, specifically if it had lava. And you can use lava here. For right now, at least, the doors aren't flammable, but they might be in the future. And so you're going to need to watch out for that. And as far as I've heard, there was a bug recently where fire spreads too far, although it doesn't spread very much since it's nerfed. But watch out for that if you have wood nearby as well. And then over here, we have a combination of this bottom thing and the one that's up higher in a sort of double door, but it's more like a quad door thing. So it's double the price as a double door, but you have a lot more customization with them. So, for example, this will let everything in it. If you're applying this to a mob grinder, you can do the same thing with pistons as all the other things in this video, but you can actually sort the mobs this way. For example, if you put the top two down, spiders can climb through the bottom. I have tested this by spawning a spider and angering it and climbing in, and I have been able to get a spider through a couple times, and so they can get through that. And then if you close this, then only one tall creatures can get through, and then if you open this up, then two tall creatures can get through, but not spiders. Then you can just open them up again to let everything through. Unfortunately, there is one problem, and it's the exact same problem that doors had whenever wolves were implemented, and that is, of course, that wolves have no idea what's going on with these trapdoors. So if you're using these, wolves will just completely ignore them. I had a wolf inside to test it out, and I activated him to get him to stand back up, walked outside, and he just looked at me. He had no idea what was going on. It was confusing the hell out of him. So again, they cannot pathfind through trapdoors. One thing to think about if you have enclosed spaces and need for wolves. And the next thing along those lines would be docks. we can now use trapdoors instead of pistons. I never actually entirely did a video on it, since it wouldn't have been very creative, but at any rate, since this is just a really small thing, I can add it to this video. Basically, you can use pistons or trapdoors, and I would advise using trapdoors since it's cheaper, to make docks. And basically you just have either 2 spaces wide or 3 wide and 2 different trapdoors, and you can block in any boats that get in so that they're not floating around everywhere. And the boat can't actually get in here, or if it can, it's pretty tough. I've tested it a bit, not too much, but it seems fairly safe to throw your boats in here with a 3 wide area and 2 trapdoors. But if you are a little bit wary of this, you can just use 2 trapdoors. And what I have in this case as well to demonstrate is a switch with just some redstone coming along the back and then touching this block for the other trapdoor, so that we can just open them both at the same time. But you can also just open them both manually if you prefer doing that instead of making a switch system, or if you don't have redstone, because these are very cheap. All you need is a tree, you know. So you just get in your boat. And also I have wool around here. Someone was mentioning on some forums before that they were tired of their boats breaking. Well, what you can do is you can just pad your docks with wool or soul sand, and it will pad the docks so that your boats won't really break. They might still, don't quote me on that, but for the most part, if you're driving up slowly, they won't really break. So then you can just drive out, lift up the trapdoors, and drive. Does one drive a boat? Is there a special word for it? And then you just drive your boat back into the dock, and on your way you just close the trapdoors, making sure that you don't get too close to ensure that you're not getting out of your boat instead of activating the trapdoor. And then finally, you can replace the piston used in my minecart station. I made a piston minecart station before, and you can replace the piston in your Pez dispenser area of that using the exact same system with the same delays, but use a trapdoor instead. And it's the exact same system, which is basically a button, and we use some redstone in an AND gate to shorten the time. So the AND gate is making sure that only when both sides are active will the final result be active. And by that I mean inactive, because this you want to always be active until you want to drop a cart, because whenever it goes down, the cart will fall through. Don't ask me how, it just does. I just saw it fall through and I'm like, alright, that's cool, I'm gonna do something with that. But basically you just have it going in there to always power it, and then it'll turn off whenever both sides are active. And then here we have a delay with a repeater here with max setting and one away from max. And then the result is when we press the button, we'll get a very quick down and then back up again, and only one minecart will fall, and then I just have it looping back around into our Pez dispenser. And you do want the powered rail down here to be powered, and as soon as it touches, since it's against this wall, it will send it out immediately. So it's pretty simple to set up. Just flip the button, drops one down. It's pretty reliable for the most part, unless you get a really quick press. You want to make sure you get a good press in, or else you'll get that happening, which isn't a bad thing. All you have to do is press it again. All it is that if you press it too short, it won't be able to activate both sides at once, so you just get a good press in, and it'll drop it down. Another good press, drop it down, and it's very reliable. So that should be about it. There are some more uses, but a lot of them have been over advertised, I believe. For example, the moat, it's just everywhere, and there are better ways to build them than what everyone's been building them with, but those ways will be completely unnecessary once pistons are added, so I'm not even going to bother with them. even though they are a bit less expensive. I would just rather build a door if they're going to take that much redstone in the first place. So I'll see you next time then with a couple more pistons videos pretty soon.